From shunning A-list filmmakers for decidedly not A-list filmmakers, to turning down work because of fringe political beliefs, and even doing so on the threat of violence. These actors all exited movies for wildly unexpected reasons. Whether their departure has aged well or not varies wildly. In some cases, they were vindicated by time, while in others it only seems like a stranger, sillier decision with each passing year. So with all that said, I am Gareth, this is What Culture, and here are 10 shocking reasons actors quit movies. Number 10, to work on a flop comedy instead, Katie Holmes' The Dark Knight. Following the success of Batman Begins, it was simply assumed that the ensemble cast would return in its entirety for the much-anticipated sequel, The Dark Knight. Though there ended up being one major exception: Katie Holmes. Holmes, who played Bruce Wayne's love interest and Gotham's assistant district attorney Rachel Dawes, opted not to appear in the follow-up, deciding instead to co-star in the crime comedy film Mad Money, reportedly due to her deep desire to work with legend Diane Keaton. Now, in fairness, Holmes had no idea that Mad Money would be a critical and commercial flop. But even so, turning down a mega-budget Christopher Nolan blockbuster to star in Mad Money? It seems like a completely baffling career choice on paper, especially given the meatiness of Rachel's role in The Dark Knight. To add insult to injury, Holmes' performance in Mad Money was singled out as especially weak by numerous critics, while many reviewers of The Dark Knight deem Maggie Gyllenhaal an upgrade over Holmes. Yikes all around. Speaking of performances in superhero movies, what is your favourite superhero movie performance of all time? Was it something from The Dark Knight or something else? You let me know in the comment section down below, baby. Number 9, his agent told him to. George Lazenby, Diamonds Are Forever. George Lazenby had the unenviable task of following up Sean Connery's iconic tenure as James Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And as a non-British actor known primarily for his commercial work, his casting ruffled a lot of feathers among the passionate Bond fandom. Though Eon Productions offered Lazenby a 7-film deal and fully expected him to return for sequel Diamonds Are Forever, Lazenby shocked the world when he announced mid-production that he would only play Bond for a single movie. The reason for this? Lazenby's agent, Ronan O'Reilly, convinced the actor that 007 would seem like an archaic relic in the 1970s, and so he quit the next Bond film while pursuing other acting projects instead. Lazenby's co-stars Diana Rigg and Desmond Llewellyn felt that he made a mistake by quitting, and his sudden exit didn't aid his public perception as a lesser Bond. All the same, general esteem for On Her Majesty's Secret Service and Lazenby's performance have grown somewhat over the decades, even if you would rank him among their favourite actors to ever don the tuxedo. Number 8, the brutal shooting schedule, Rebecca Ferguson, Mission Impossible 8. Though Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 seemingly marked Rebecca Ferguson's departure from the franchise, with the demise of her fan favourite character Ilsa Faust, that seemingly wasn't the original plan. In a recent interview with The Wrap, Ferguson explained that she was initially offered a role in the upcoming 8th film, but decided to turn it down due to the franchise's grueling long production schedule. The more recent Mission Impossible films have famously started filming without set-in-stone scripts, with filmmaker Christopher McQuarrie and star Tom Cruise more or less building the narrative as they go, while focusing first on designing high-wire set pieces. It is a fascinating way to make a massive movie, and while Ferguson called the process intoxicatingly exciting, she noted that it also meant you can spend a lot of time sitting around waiting to film. Ferguson stated that the outline for Mission Impossible 8 didn't have much of a role for Ilsa, and so decided to withdraw from the movie altogether rather than turn down other projects while waiting to be called up for her scenes in this film. Ferguson noted that since Dead Reckoning Part 1 wrapped filming, she shot Dune Part 2 and 2 seasons of the Apple TV Plus series Silo, which wouldn't have been possible if she had to sit on her hands and wait for McQuarrie and Cruise to call her up. It totally makes sense from Ferguson's perspective, even if it's a damn shame that we seemingly won't be seeing Ilsa again, especially as many fans were dissatisfied with her exit in the previous film. Justice for Ilsa. Number 7, being pressured to drop a lawsuit, Terry Crews, Expendables 4. It was initially assumed that Terry Crews would co-star in the 4th Expendables movie, having appeared as part of the supersized ensemble in the first 3 and all. Yet in 2018, Crews announced his decision to quit Expendables 4 after being being pressured by producer Avi Lerner to drop the sexual assault lawsuit he filed against Sylvester Stallone's agent Adam Bennett. Lerner reportedly implied that Cruise would need to drop the suit if he wanted to keep his role in the series. And so, rather than be silent regarding his traumatic experience, Cruise took his leave. And beyond that, he vowed to never appear in another Expendables movie. It's disgusting that Cruise was ever put in this position, though it may ultimately have been a blessing in disguise given that Expendables 4 was a critical and commercial flop, effectively killing the franchise in the process. Number 6. Refusing to work with Madonna, Deborah Winger, A League of Their Own. During casting for 1992's classic sports comedy A League of Their Own, Deborah Winger was initially hired to play protagonist Dottie Hinson, and was evidently committed enough to spend 3 months training with the Chicago Cubs in preparation for shooting. But Winger made an unexpected exit from the film after director Penny Marshall cast Madonna in the supporting role of All the Way May, feeling that Madonna's casting fundamentally changed the movie, that it was now a star vehicle for a musician, an Elvis film in her own words. Winger had a pay-or-play contract, meaning that she still received her salary for the film, despite not starring in it, with Gina Davis ultimately being cast as Dottie. In a 2021 interview with The Telegraph, Winger said of Madonna's casting, "I think her acting career has spoken for itself." Even if this is ironically probably the single Madonna performance most folk will actually agree totally works. But given that the film remains a thoroughly entertaining classic today, it's safe to say that everything worked out for the best. Thanks for checking out this video today, people. Now go and tap on that subscribe button down below for more of this what culture stuff in your life. Number 5. Health concerns over the required weight loss. Christian Bale, Ferrari. Christian Bale is known for being a tenacious performer and never one to shy away from a challenge. Enough that he's lost considerable amounts of weight for numerous roles throughout his career. Bale most famously shed pounds to play the emaciated protagonist of The Machinist, but also slimmed down massively for roles in Rescue Dawn and The Fighter, while often following them up with parts that required him to have a bulkier frame, such as the Christopher Nolan Batman movies and American Hustle. Before it finally released with Adam Driver in the lead role last year, Bale was initially attached to star in Michael Mann's Ferrari, though dropped out in early 2016 due to concerns over the amount of weight loss required to play Enzo Ferrari. In more recent years, Bale has spoken about the mental and physical toll of his yo-yoing weight, and so for the sake of his long-term health, he's effectively retired from roles which require him to lose or gain excessive amounts of mass. As unexpected as this was to hear from an actor as pathologically committed as Bale, can you blame him at all? Acting is already hard enough. Number 4. Dennis Hopper allegedly pulled a knife on him. Rip Torn, Easy Rider. In Easy Rider, the role of boozed-up lawyer George Hansen was originally written for Rip Torn, but things quickly went south when he went for dinner with filmmaker stars Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda to discuss playing George. Hopper reportedly began ranting about rednecks during the dinner, which enraged the Texas-born Torn enough that he and Hopper almost got into a fight, and Torn decided to leave the film. In a 1994 interview with Jay Leno, Hopper claimed that Torn pulled a knife on him during the altercation, prompting an irate Torn to sue Hopper for defamation, claiming that Hopper was the one who in fact pulled a knife on him. Ultimately, the court ruled in Torn's favor, requiring Hopper to pay a total of $950,000 in damages. The implication being that Torn's account of events was actually correct, and he quit Easy Rider because Hopper threatened him with a blade. It's a shame for Torn, given that his replacement Jack Nicholson received a career-launching Best Supporting Actor Oscar nomination for his performance. Number 3. Not getting requested script changes. Kim Basinger boxing Helena. It's not uncommon for actors to walk away from movie roles due to creative differences during the developmental process, but it's rarer that they try to slink out when shooting is imminent. Kim Basinger agreed to star in Boxing Helena, the directorial debut of David Lynch's daughter Jennifer Chambers Lynch, swiftly signing on following the departure of Madonna the month prior. However, as the filming start approached, Basinger began requesting major changes to the script, primarily intended to make her title character quote-unquote less of a bitch. With Lynch failing to make the changes though, Basinger ultimately quit the film. Though Sherilyn Fenn was ultimately cast in her place, Basinger's sudden departure led to a lawsuit which cost her an eye-watering $3.8 million, leaving her bankrupt. While again, it's not strange for actors to request script changes, for Basinger to sign onto a project with prominent enough script issues that she ended up bankrupting herself rather than simply do the role as written, you have to question her thought process from start to finish. Number 2, needing to get a COVID vaccine, Ice Cube, step dude. In 2021, Ice Cube was signed to star opposite Jack Black in the comedy then titled Oh Hell No, later renamed Step Dude, but as production was readying to begin by year's end, it was reported that Cube left the project after producers requested that all cast members be vaccinated against COVID-19. By his own admission, Cube lost out on a $9 million payday by refusing to get the vaccine, and in a 2022 podcast interview remained defiant about his choice, saying F that jab and F y'all for trying to make me get it. I don't know how Hollywood feel about me right now. Though producers swiftly began seeking a replacement, one still hasn't been announced more than 2.5 years later, suggesting Cube's exit may ultimately have consigned the project to development hell. Unsurprisingly, Cube's refusal to get the jab didn't elicit too much sympathy online, given that vaccine mandates were commonplace in Hollywood until 2023 for very understandable reasons. Number 1, the dubbing process drove him insane. Robin Williams, Howard the Duck. Believe it or not, George Lucas's infamous 1986 Howard the Duck adaptation originally hired Robin Williams to provide the voice of the title character, but sensing his sanity slipping, the late legend quit the part after just a week. As for why Williams found the job so damn unbearable he had to quit so fast, he reportedly struggled with having to sync his line readings to the already shot footage of Howard's Bill moving to the on-set line readings of puppeteers who were not professional actors. In a 2021 retrospective with The Hollywood Reporter, Williams' replacement Chip Zien claims Williams said, "I can't do this, it is insane, I can't get the rhythm of this, I am being confined, I am being handcuffed in order to match the flapping duck's bill." And given the legendary Williams' famous penchant for improv, it's easy to appreciate how a lockdown part would be frustrating for him. How dare they restrict the mighty Robin?